Today we will begin discussion on cell cycle, cell division. This is class 11th NEET biology syllabus, unit 3 of class 11th. And the specific topic from this chapter that we are going to discuss in this video would be about a very important concept, that what exactly is a cell cycle. Now, if you look at the recent trends in the NEET entrance examination, at least one question inevitably appears in every year NEET entrance paper, at least one. So that means I have seen that in few years there have been more than one question from the cell cycle part itself. Obviously, they are asking about mitosis and meiosis as well, but it is now gaining some importance in the scheme of the things of the NEET entrance examination of late. Now that is why it is important to understand the basic concept. Also more reason because that some of the best conceptual questions in the recent years have been framed from this subtopic of this chapter. There can be a pretty straightforward innocuous question, what happens during the S phase of the cell cycle, and from that spectrum you can look at some very conceptual question, that what happens if the events that are regulated, very highly regulated in cell cycle, they go wrong, and how can it lead to say for example formation of cancer. So this is a wide spectrum. It is an important thing to grasp the basic understanding about the cell cycle. So let us begin our discussion on this topic of the chapter. And obviously the first question that comes to the mind is that what exactly is a cell cycle? Now let me give you an example. Let us say that this is a cell, and this cell divides into two daughter cells. A cell divides into two daughter cells. Now all the events, all the sequential events that happen in this daughter cell, now this is very important to understand, all the sequential events that will happen in this newly formed cell, and all these events that I am talking about which cause this cell itself to divide into two daughter cells. Now this is what is cell cycle. So we are saying cell cycle is a sequence of events that happen in a newly formed cell, and what these events cause this cell itself to divide into daughter cells, two daughter cells at the end of the cell cycle. All these events will constitute a cell cycle. I hope now we have a proper definition of a cell cycle. Now that means then when we are looking at the events of the cell cycle, we are saying that during cell cycle the cell may be dividing or may not be dividing. That gives me the first basic classification of the phases of the cell cycle. So I would say that the cell cycle can be divided into two phases. One, when the cell is dividing, this phase would be called as the mitotic or M phase. And look at this part, we are saying this period in the cell cycle, it is this period that the cell actually divides and leads to the formation of two daughter cell. This would be called as the mitotic phase and also called as the M phase. Now keep an eye on the words that I am using. Now that means the other part would be when the cell is actually not dividing, and that means we can also say that this time period is actually the time period between two successive cell divisions. This is the another way of putting it, and I am calling this phase as an interphase. Now you may get the impression that when I am talking about that it is okay, a state, it's a phase between two successive cell divisions, you may get a wrong impression about the thing, that whatever meaningful is happening during the cell cycle of a cell would be actually happening in the M phase. Yes, it is a dramatic phase. There are some very key events that are occurring